I do want to ask you about some MVP odds before, because we have seen a big shift. First time we've really seen it all season. Like it was Jokic the entire way,
Yeah.
and he has dropped down. He is no longer the favorite. I'm going to pull up the odds here. Embiid minus 190 on FanDuel. Like this completely flipped. Jokic was like minus 250 like less than a month ago. He's plus 300 on FanDuel now. Giannis is plus 450. He's still in the race. So Tatum is in fourth. I think it's like plus 12,000. Don't really need to hit on that. Are you surprised? Because I think at this point I stopped paying attention because I was like, okay, this is over. This is Jokic's award, but it is completely flipped now, and dare I say for good reason. I mean, I can't say I disagree.
Yeah, look, I'm holding on to a Joel Embiid plus 550 to win MVP ticket from a few weeks
Let's
back.
go.
It was after that first game where he hit the buzzer beater. You're like, hey, okay, he's, it's that time of year. You can tell he's starting to make his case. Wish I would have put a little more on it, seeing the odds today. But I think it's a mix of a few things, right? Like Jokic has won it twice in a row. And it's almost funny because Jokic makes recording a triple-double look routine. And the books are reacting the same way. Like we've seen, 15, 20 games this year where Nikola Jokic is at minus odds for a triple-double. So it's almost like the Patrick Mahomes thing, like where you watch him play quarterback and you kind of get spoiled and you don't realize sometimes just how good he is. I think that's kind of the same thing. But look, when you watch Embiid on the defensive end, like he's just been a terror on the offensive end. He's making the big plays. I mean, he's had kind of a stretch here down the way. So I think it's a mix of voter fatigue and the fact that Embiid is putting a statement on things, and I think this might be his year to win it.
Yeah, it's funny because coming into this season, I had a Doncic MVP ticket because I was like, okay, he's going to win it eventually. I think I was like, okay, I just don't want to. I think again, the 76ers are thinking championship or bust, like they're going to manage Embiid's minutes a little more during the regular season. That's the only differential I had between those two. But I was like, okay, no Jokic this year. He's done it twice in a row. If he's going to win it, it's going to be in the same way that he's won it the last couple of years. That was the big thing for me, is that there probably wasn't going to be that huge shift in everything. It was just going to be the same thing, right? And not that that's not great, but I thought that might be a little more voter fatigue. And then Embiid comes out and he's averaging like 36 points, like 12 rebounds this month, which is just insane. It's a lot of people were saying, it's not even worth putting money on Embiid, maybe a couple of months ago because Jokic was in the driver's seat. I'll ask you this. Just pretend you don't have that Embiid ticket right now. You're looking at Jokic plus 300 or Giannis plus 450. Is it worth putting money on those, or do you think Embiid's just going to ride this out and at this point with the whole narrative around him, because it's obviously a big narrative award, is it worth putting any money on the other two guys?
It might be, but I would only do that if you've got money on the other, right? Because, if you've had money, it's an almost kind of hedge. But yeah, I think right now it looks like it's Embiid's to lose. But I mean, plus 300 is a lot of value for a guy that's been sitting, at like minus 400, minus 500 at some points in the year. You're seeing it like, all right, well, I'm not touching that for right now. So it is a good amount of value, but I just think Embiid's really taking games over right now, and he knows it too. Every time he goes to play, even if they're playing a bad team, he's racking up, stats early. It's like I think he's aware that he's, making his case for MVP. So I'm just going to stick with the one that I have, even pretending that I don't have it. I think he's done enough at this point, to get his first MVP, or at least keep Jokic from winning his third in a row.